Kathleen McGiveron, and today we're going to be talking about what you need for oil painting. So let's dive into this episode and let's get inspired. Alright, so very first thing that you need is something to paint on. And now I'm leaving it pretty ambiguous because it's going to be very personal preference, but you need something to paint on. You don't want to paint on your lap, like on something on your lap, because it's oil paint, and if you make a mistake, it's not coming out of your clothes. So you need and plus you want a steady surface, right? So you need something to paint on, whether it's on a mixed media pad, but again, you want to have that on a surface. So basically, we're trying to find a surface that's stable to paint on, and then also a surface to paint, to use as your canvas. So the first thing is that you want to find either a table. If you want to paint flat, you can try using a table, so designate a table where you're going to oil paint. But my recommendation is, if you want to use your table, to also get one of these. So that way you can, if you don't have a lot of room or you're just starting out, a big easel takes up a lot of space, doesn't it? And starting off on a giant canvas is pretty intimidating. And also takes a huge amount of time depending on what you're doing. But a large easel might not be the option for you, or you might not be ready for it yet. But one of these, this is an awesome tool. Okay, first of all, you can tell it's not too big, but it can get bigger, right? So it can fit quite a large canvas in there. Which I think I probably could put this current painting in there. I sure could. I sure could take my current canvas I'm working on. I'll try. I bet you I didn't even need to use this giant one. Let's see. Oh, yes. See? I'm going to prove to you why this is awesome. Sorry, this is oil, so I'm a little bit sketched out. Okay, I'm working on this currently, and you can see I fit a pretty large canvas onto here. Sorry, I'm in an awkward spot. I'll turn it around. Check it out. Okay, you also might be thinking, well, that's ridiculous. How is that going to stand up? It opens. So this is not only an easel, a tabletop easel, but it actually is storage for your supplies. Sorry, I have things in here. Okay, so it would stand like this. Or I can open up more, I can open up less, and then you can adjust the wing nuts to keep it where it is. And then you can see it has ample storage and dividers for your supplies. And then you can close it up, lock it. You can transport your canvas like this, right? Okay, I'm done painting at the park, and then you can just go home like this and not touch your canvas, right? Bam, bam. Thank you, ma'am. Isn't that nice? All right, let's put this down. Woo! Put this back without touching it. I'm getting paint all over myself. See, I don't even have to use a big one. I can sit at a table, which would be a lot easier. It's hard to stand up for hours. All right. So that's it. This is a table. This is Meeden. This one's by Meeden. Oh, it says right here on this side. Meeden, M-E-E-D-E-N. I got this from Amazon. I super like it. The quality is it's like leather. I thought it was going to be pretty cheap when I got it because it was really cheap to buy. I'm like, this is going to be, you know, cheap wood. You know, like sometimes when you go to the dollar store and you get some wood things and you're like, ooh. I know why it's at the dollar store. I thought it would be like that. And it's like really high quality. All my easel is Meeden too. I bought that after I bought this because I'm like, wow, the quality is next level. It's so good. I love Meeden's stuff. It's amazing. Anyways, thank you, Meeden. And this one is tabletop easel. I will link to it in the description below the video. So if you want to check it out, links to it is in the description below the video, or you can check out your local art store if you have one. But if you don't, or you don't want to, because I don't like to go. Also, it's really far away from me, like an hour, or more. Just don't have them anywhere near me. I live rural, so that's that. But anyways, if you want to just look at it. It'll be linked in the description below. It is an Amazon affiliate link. That means if you do purchase it, I do get a commission, but I mean, what a useful tool. All your paints are all stored, all your paint brushes, all in one spot. You don't have to have them in it's just one, and it's your easel. Like, it's one thing that is also many things. And therefore, I give it a big thumbs up on usability and not taking up a bunch of space and keeping everything clean, tidy, and organized. Oh, can I put it down? Sorry, I'm on a high stool. All right, so next, oh yeah, the other thing is that you're gonna need something to paint on. Okay, so you could paint on a mixed media pad. So if you're doing oil painting, you will want to get some paper that's thicker, right? So like a mixed media pad or like canvas paper. So not just a normal sketchbook, you could try, but I would just get like a mixed media pad. That would make it easier. That paper means it's really thick. And then usually if it has some perforated lines or like those lines you could tear away, then you could take it out if you wanted to use it for something or whatever. Another thing is you could do is canvases. So there's two different styles of canvas. There's some thinner ones. Those are designed to be framed. But if you don't want to frame it, which is expensive, you can get exhibition canvases, and these are the deeper ones. So the deeper ones means you're gonna finish. I don't have one around me that's, oh yeah, I got a big one. Easy to grab. But you're gonna want to paint your sides, right? Because it's gonna become part of the painting. Now I did mine, sometimes mostly I painted black. Some people paint them like cool colors that are different, like as though they are a frame. And then this one, I blended it with the actual artwork. Hello, I'm a fish. No, I'm not. I'm an octopussy. All right. That is too big to flip around. Okay. This one's a different style. That's just a different brand. This one's Michael's version where it's all tucked in on the back. And this one is, yeah, you just want a deep one. And then that way you don't have to frame it. You'll just put some framing wire behind it or whatever you want to use to frame, or for hanging, sorry. And then you'll go. The other option is you can also try painting on alternative surfaces. You can make your own surfaces. You can find found objects surfaces. You can use wood canvases. Don't worry, this one's a local company. I'm not even gonna explain where it is because it's like literally 3 stores around here and it's their brand. But you can get exhibition wood canvases. So this one is, they're good for any art medium, mixed media, oil, acrylic, whatever you want. Anyways, it's the same deep exhibition, but it can get, basically what I'm trying to say is you can try wood panels or wood canvases as a surface to paint on instead of using a more traditional linen, for example, which is canvas. All right, so I'm wondering, so you need some, basically, starting off with, you need something something to paint on and something to paint with there, right? Surface to paint on, surface to paint with. And then, yeah, that's the first 2 things you need. Before we continue, my question for you is this. What questions do you have when it comes to oil painting? So what do you want to know about oil painting? Please let me know in the comment section below the video, and I will do my best to personally answer each of your replies, or maybe turn one of your answers into a future video and go a little bit deeper on it for you so I can show you a little bit better or explain things a little better for you. So what do you want to know about oil painting? Please let me know in the comment section below the video. All right, next is you need a pigment. So you need to have something to paint on and something to paint with, which is your pigment. And there's 2 different ways you can get pigment, right? So you can buy powdered pigment. So just powder that you apply, you mix with your own oil. For instance, you might want to mix the powder with linseed oil, which is what paint is, right? If you look at the back of paint, this one is pigment PBR7 mixed with vehicle linseed oil. So pigment plus linseed oil, or you could, if you want, just buy powder pigment and then mix your own oil. Why you would do that, I don't know, but you can. It's an option. You might like the process. You might be better for your whatever you want to do. Maybe it's more control or you want more intensity or whatever, more vibrance in your work, or less. Maybe you want less intense, less vibrant. You want more translucent. Which you could thin out with adding more medium to it anyways, like more linseed oil to your paint. But anyway, it's an option. You could buy powdered pigment, or you could just buy it, the tube paint, which is somebody took a powdered pigment and mixed it with linseed oil for you. So you want to buy yourself a paint. Now I recommend always getting the artist version, artist quality over students, because it's going to be more pigment and less oil and higher quality, and it's going to be more usable. It's going to take a lot less of this paint to make progress, whereas student one is kind of like watered down, or like medium watered down, and then it takes a lot more to make a bigger impact or effort on your canvas. Whereas I only use a dot, not a lot. I did not need this giant tube, to be honest. These tubes might look small, but literally you're going to use a dot, not a lot, a literal dot. It goes that far, and that's as much as I need in a session, a dot. And sometimes you need to add a second dot. I'm like, whoa, I'm using so much paint this time. That's to put it in perspective of how much you should be applying to your palette. A dot, not a lot. And then, oh, you also need to have a palette. I didn't put that on my list of things to talk about, but you're gonna need a palette with a palette knife. This one's wet, mostly. Some areas are dry. A palette. You can get a wood palette. You can get a glass palette, which is what I recommend. I don't have one yet. That's on my list of things to get eventually. I do have a link to one in the description below the video you can check out. Do not get a plastic palette for oil. Do not get a plastic palette for oil. It'll stick and you're not gonna get it off. Glass, you clean it with a razor after it dries and you just scrape it off. Or this one is a 50 sheets of paper palette. Now you might be like, wow, so every time I need to use a new piece of paper? No, look at mine. This one's I'm using for the same painting. So you can think about it, and this is wet still, so you can think about it as one piece of paper per painting. Yeah. Okay, see, dots. These are the dots I'm currently using, not that block, but these dots being used. The rest is either being used or it's just the remnants of what's left. Thin, it's flat. You also need a palette knife. You can use it for painting and for mixing colors. So you'll need those two things. All right. Do not drop. What else? Okay, so you gotta get your paint, get your primaries, get your black and white, and some other ones. And I'll talk about what paint to have in, what oil paints to buy in a different video, and I'll talk about that video. Actually, I'll tell you now. You can find out what paints to buy, what oil paints to buy by clicking the link above the video or below in the description of the video, and I will tell you very specifically, in depth, my very specific list of what oil paints to buy, so you don't waste your money, and you actually get what you need. So I'll cover that in a totally separate video. But again, click the link above or in the description of the video and check out what oil paint to buy for information about specifically what oil paints or pigments you need to get. All right, next is mediums and cleaners. So you're gonna wanna get yourself a couple mediums, and this is what you mix with your oil paint. So you're gonna paint with just the actual paint out of the tube onto your canvas. It'll be nice and like opaque. But sometimes you might wanna get into later layers and you want it to be thinner. Now with acrylic paint or watercolor paint, to make it more translucent, right? To make it more see-through, so you can have different layers with the other layers showing through below. That way it looks very deep and rich and not cartoony or flat. It depends on the style of painting you're doing also. You're gonna wanna add more medium to it. So in acrylic and watercolor paint, you add sometimes water or flat acrylic medium. What's it called again? Fluid medium. Fluid? Yeah, fluid medium to your acrylics, or water. You add more water to watercolor paints, but you don't do that with oil because water and oil don't mix. So what you're gonna do is add more oil and oil mixed together. You can use safflower oil, you can use walnut oil. I just use more linseed oil because it's in most of the paints. If you look at the ingredients, it's a pigment plus linseed oil, or Pigment Plus safflower oil. So I just add more linseed oil. This is Gamblin's linseed oil. It just basically says it's the palest of linseed oils. Adding refined linseed oil to colors increases flow, right? Makes it more fluid and soft and moves around your painting like so nicely, right? And then also slows your drying times. So this one will make it dry slower. Yeah. Now, if you want it to dry overnight, literally overnight, if you want to go paint like oils, but you want to come back tomorrow and have it completely dry like it was acrylics, you're going to add Liquid Original. And this one's going to remove your brush strokes retention, so you're not going to see brush strokes, right? We want to have a nice blend, but also you're going to come back the next day and that is going to be dry to the touch completely. Mind-blowing, especially because sometimes with oils it takes like days to dry. So you're going to get just get these two mediums, to be honest. If you're beginning, don't sit there, get analysis paralysis by staring at all the possible mediums out there, because there's a lot. Just get these two and you're done. Use this for if you want it to dry slow at the beginning. If you get to the end, start adding this instead when you want to have those final layers all done. Okay, then you want to get a cleaner as well. This is for mediums. Mine is leaking. I broke my lid and now I have it on me. And I think it's all over my supply bin. These are supposed to be safety lids, but I don't know what happened. Like, you don't want to ingest this or get it on your skin like I just have. And typically, it's not a problem. And I don't know what I did, but I must have, these are like pill bottle lids, right? Because it could be toxic if you drink it and it looks like water. So they have pill bottle lids so you don't drink it. But mine is no longer working. Like, it's no longer, doesn't matter how many times I turn it around, it just keeps coming off. It has nothing, it's probably something I did, to be honest. Anyways, I'm holding it, here we go. Oh, I gotta wash my hands. Anyway, this is Gamblin. This is high quality stuff. It's odorless mineral spirit. It is really good product. I really recommend it. Don't worry about my cap or mine is leaking. This is my problem to solve. Anyways, I highly recommend it. And it's a lot safer than something like turpentine, which is very toxic to touch, to inhale. Don't be a Bob Ross and on your easel and having it blast all over you, or you're inhaling those fumes and the particles that you're blasting everywhere by doing that. Not a good idea. It's not safe. It can cause cancer. Turpentine, right? This is, do not swallow it. Do not swallow it. I'm not swallowing it. I just prefer it's not on my hands and also going through my skin. So I need to fix that. I don't know how. I might just put it into a jar and label it. I might just put it in a jar. I like to save jars. Anyways, moving on. Oh yeah, if you want to get that, and I know it's a terrible example because mine's broken. Like I said, this is probably something that I've done by accident. Anyways, you can find the Gamblin Gamsol mineral spirits in the description below the video. All the things I have in there, I have lots of all my resources to oils, to my varnish I like, art books, paints to start off and buy, brushes. All those will be linked. My recommendations, things that I use, will be in the links below the video in the description. You can click and check them out and do your own research and find what you like. They are Amazon affiliate links. That means I do get a commission should you make a purchase, and just to let you know. All right, so that is it. I would say the final thing that you might need is obviously your brushes. You're gonna need brushes. So I would say you just get a handful, like 5 brushes of varying sizes. So bigger ones. You're gonna want some medium-sized ones, a flat and a round, medium brush, and then you're gonna want some smaller detailed brushes. And that's all you need. A handful of brushes, and to clean them, you're gonna take your Gamblin Gamsol mineral spirits and put them into a brush cleaner container with your mineral spirits. You This one has a nice lid that is nice safety lid, so it gets clamped on. And then you keep the same mineral spirits in here. Has a perforated bottom with holes on the bottom. And then it looks clear when I look in here. Then I'm going to take my brush, I'm going to swirl, swirl, swirl in the mineral spirits to scrub it clean. Then it'll turn murky because all the oil paint came off. And then all night long it's going to settle to the bottom. And then when I open the lid again, it's going to look clear and ready to use again because the oil has separated from the mineral spirits. I listened to one of these in the description below the video as well. I think it's just a good way to, it just makes it easy and it makes it safe to use your mineral spirits to clean your brushes. And that's a nice thing to have, nice and convenient. All right, so you can find that also in the description below the video. I think that's it for my friends. All you really need to get started. So don't worry about get analysis paralysis and be like, oh no, I don't know what to buy. Just go grab a few things and then get started. If you think you need something else, that's when you go buy it. You don't need to buy all the things and start hoarding materials and then focus on buying stuff versus actually doing the work. The point is that you want to get started painting and learning, right? And growing as an artist. All right, my friend, again, remember the next video to watch is what oil paints to buy. I'll link to that at the end of the video, or you can click the link in the description below the video, and I'll see you in that episode. Please make sure you like this video. It really helps me out and helps this video get seen on YouTube, as well as please subscribe to the channel. I do subscribe for a cupcake, so at 1,000 subscribers, I'll do an acrylic painting, a acrylic painting for you. At 10,000 subscribers, I'm going to do an oil painting of a cupcake that's out of this world. And at 100,000 subscribers, I'm going to create a large-scale ceramic sculpture of a cupcake, and you get to help me come up with a theme for that. So make sure you subscribe to the channel and share this video, and I'll see you in the next episode.